Welcome, everybody. John Zager, johnzager.com. How's everybody doing today? Good? Good. So, um, kind of cloudy, a little bit cloudy, not very much. Possibly a little shower later on this afternoon. It's been raining for the past week or two. So, look at my hair. Not very good, huh? Oh well. So, today, YouTube video, I want to talk about, shut the car off here, shut the truck off, get rid of some of the noise. There'll be some road noise with traffic going by. I guess I could roll this window up. Might cut some of that traffic out. And the lake's over here on my right. Looks like there's about a half dozen people fishing. It's a nice day, so it'll fill up. There'll be a lot of people fishing. I want to talk about more corruption in America. And specifically right now, and has been by the Democratic Party for years, actually. You know, they attack Trump, and now they're trying to indict him on felony charges of, I don't know, when you leave office, you're supposed to clean up your act with the files and whatnot. Of course, Biden's had files they have of record for over 30 years, and nobody's gone after him. Trump, when they raided his place down in Florida, after having left office a couple years back, you know, they say he wasn't totally on the up and up. Well, I don't know. I think it's a witch hunt, and they're trying to, and this has been ongoing since, what, 16? You know, just trying to keep him out of office totally. And they will do whatever they can to accomplish that. And it's supposed to be treated as a civil manner when you're a president, past president of the United States, but they're going to treat it as a felony, which it won't, but it could put him in prison for the remainder of his life until he dies. That's how notorious and despicable it has gotten in the Democrats' attempt to get rid of Trump once and for all. And it's not just Trump. It's a variety of conservative people, from broadcasters to whatever. And, you know, they're all getting fired or laid off or no longer visible. So the country has gotten to a point where the Democrats want a one-party rule. They don't want a Republican Party, and they will fight dirty as they need to eliminate the Republican Party and candidates and conservative people in general. They want to run them out of the country. So it's a corrupt country now. It's like a third world country, so to speak, in that the Democrats would like to just have this be one party rule. You know, whatever they say is the law, and that's the end of it. Mark Levine did a pretty good commentary last night. You might want to go back and listen to that. But you know, he's a attorney, high-end attorney, and he knows how far he can say things, and so he's not holding back. So what I've kind of done over the course of the last, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, has it been that? You know, I've moved my podcasts, YouTube video, and such to talking about corruption in America. Starting off with, you know, how can we just defund the police department, the sheriff's department, the highway patrol, the courts? You know, they're all socialistic anarchies that also have preconceived outcomes to people being arrested and sent to court. It's called prejudice. And somehow, some way, I don't know if America is strong enough to do it. I have a bit of a runny nose this morning, sorry. I stopped and had a couple breakfast burritos and they were pretty hot. That's probably what's causing that. So, seems like the old days that I recall, because I'm old, everything in America was pretty conservative. Nobody was feuding or having wars with one another over political things. I mean, there's always going to be some debate between Democrats and Republicans, but it's just a socialistic outcome today with the police, the sheriff, the highway patrol, the courts, the judges, the attorneys. It's a terrible, terrible situation and system. And it needs to have some rewiring done. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think we're going to continue down the road with the anarchy, and we're basically in World War III now through, you know, just the rhetoric that's going on back and forth. Russia doesn't seem to be big enough to fight anybody anymore, and they're just incidental, and they run their country kind of like a warmonger society in order to financially survive. Are they a threat to anybody? No, they're not a threat. If they were to continue with their Putin strategy, they could be annihilated in short order. China, on the other hand, has a population big enough to support, their rhetoric, and they're now trying to make a ploy to take over the South China Sea and Taiwan. Well, Taiwan hasn't been hooked up with China in decades, and they're not planning it, and China is ready to go to war and overtake Taiwan, which means the Western world would have to get involved, and then we would have an actual live big scale war between Western allies and China. That's a possibility. We're going to end up in a war sooner or later where there's actual fighting. You know, the Russia thing is just way out of control, and if Trump got involved there, I think he could go sit down with Putin and probably they would hammer out a solution to ending Russia's war with Ukraine. I don't think it would go anywhere. Putin's wanting to go back and put Russia back together as the Soviet Union, and that's not ever going to happen. So, China seems to be on the limelight of wanting to overtake America. And that's not a pretty picture. It won't ever happen. It'll end up with a lot of destruction, death, and dying, but it'll never happen. So anyway, that's the political stuff. Maybe even more recently, we may not even get to the election time before all hell breaks loose. And we'll have to see how that goes for a while. Country's in a mess. The country is clearly in a mess, and we need to problem solve getting that fixed. And I think where you start with that stuff is you start on the bottom and work your way up. Psychology kind of teaches you to do the same thing. I don't think you start at the top and work your way down. So, where I'm currently at in Colorado used to be a pretty nice conservative state, and it's gone to hell. With our what exactly is he? Bisexual governor or something? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. There's that whole string of letters, LB, blah, 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 blah. He's socialist, that we know. And he's not conservative, nor does he have a conservative thought in his head. And he's getting away with what he's getting away with because our state has turned Democratic, socialist, progressive. We're not conservative anymore. And that's why the state and the economy, as with the country, has gone to hell in a handbasket. You know, just straight up front, Biden, I don't even, the talk on the street is that the Democrats want to find some way to get him off of the ticket so that he's not even running again. He's totally incompetent, and I don't think we even need to argue that point, or how he got in is the same way we have this, I don't know what we call our governor, bisexual, or I don't know. He's got so much sexual misconduct everywhere in his life that I think he's not just a gay governor. He's just dirty and filthy, and his political position is distorted, and he clearly cannot differentiate reality. He needs to go to my class on critical thinking. So, where I go to get my burritos in the morning, not that I go every day, but when I do go, they give you coffee because you're an old guy for free. And they give you these white cups. You know, they're pretty worthless cups, but the coffee is coffee and doesn't win any awards, but you get another cup of coffee, I guess, along with the burritos. The burritos were $1 a piece. Now they're $1.49 a piece. You know, you go into the store and things just are outrageous. They're so high. I mean, I have no idea how people, including myself, exist financially. I'm not sure. Would like to encourage everybody to follow or subscribe to my YouTube channel, John Zager Thoughts and Travels. I need 1,000 people, right? I've been harping on that for a long time because TikTok, which is China, you know, took over YouTube and the internet in the United States. And Europe flat out said, no, you're not allowed anywhere in our countries. But according to our democratic policies, TikTok is now in control and has kicked out all of us conservatives and programs and stuff that we've been doing for a long time. And they wanted more money, so, you know, if you can't produce 1,000 people, then you shouldn't even be considered as someone that could use YouTube. The people that are on YouTube are political, one, or very affluent Hollywood socialists, movie star type people. But I continue to try. I've been doing more live videos on Facebook Live and they let me run those for 30 days right now. You can always go to Facebook, John Zager Thoughts and Travels or whatever. And you can find me there all the time. LinkedIn lets me do some video and some podcasting over there. I use that as often as I can. Not enough, but I get to use it a little bit. Spreaker, you can get my blogs off of, well, my podcasts off of Spreaker. You can listen to those podcasts anywhere that you get your podcasts on the internet. Mine are carried everywhere. And of course, the blogs are on all social media that I do daily. I get people contacting me about what I do, not negatively, just, if they don't agree with it, they pretty much just don't say anything. But there are people that are listening and watching and reading, and they don't subscribe or follow or share, all that kind of stuff that builds up numbers. And it sure would be great if those of you out there that are dropping in pretty much regularly, if you could just get counted, that would help. So how unrealistic TikTok has gotten is that you need to have a minimum of 1,000 people watching your YouTube channel, which you really don't have a YouTube channel anymore. But if you can get 1,000 people following you, they count that. And for viewer hours, TikTok wants you to have 10,000. I mean, if you're not somebody like, I don't know, who's out there, Joel Osteen, Trump being indicted, how are you going to get 10,000 viewer hours of people watching your channel? You're not. So what I put out there is, pretty pertinent, pretty controversial. I believe it's important enough to have a dialogue about it, but not enough people are commenting. So I guess I just make it a little more radical each time and see what that does. Please go to Amazon and buy. I got 9 books over there I've written and published. Please go over to Amazon Kindle, which is the e-book stuff, kindle.com. You can go there and look through all the different books, pick one out. I think on the 20th of this month they're gonna raise the price of books on Amazon. You might want to head over there and grab a book before some of those prices go up. We don't have any control over that as authors. They're offering us a place to have them published and written and sold worldwide, and we don't have a choice on what they want to charge people. So that industry's kind of tanking as well. Um, what else? I guess that kind of cleans up a little bit of the housekeeping I needed to do. Um, I would appreciate people to comment more. I can also actually on Facebook Live. They got a hold of me and told me this, but I can have guests come on. You know, you call in to a certain number that goes to my live broadcast on Facebook, and we can have a dialogue like you're a guest, right? And I can interview you on Facebook Live, you know, John Zager Thoughts and Travels. So there are ways for you to be a guest and participate more actively in what I'm doing. I'd love to hear from you, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that would like to have your opinion. So, anyway, kind of going to stop at this point and talked to a guy last night, and he said that um, he's been listening, and towards the end he falls asleep. So we'll just hope that he's sleeping well right now, I guess. God bless everybody. Take care of one another, and I look forward to talking to y'all again real soon. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.